in the morning.
Welcome back to our channel. Today is a great day to delve deeper into the latest developments in Genoa City. The plot is incredibly dramatic following Patty's horrifying testimony about the true identity of the person behind all the plots to kill Jabot. Can you guess who it is? Ashley declares he won't let things rest. This has been bothering me for days. Why now? I mean, it's clear Jack was stabbed by Patty with a poison needle to silence him, so of course a sister would run back. But from a plot point, there's always a deeper, more structural reason for bringing someone like Ashley back right at this tense moment. Wait, actually, no. First, I should address the whole story about Patty Williams being supposedly stable and recovered. We all knew it was a blatant lie the moment she set foot back in town. The police believed it. Christine believed it. But what about Ashley? Ashley was too smart to simply accept that Patty had nonchalantly walked out of a psychiatric facility completely cured and coincidentally found herself back in Jack's vortex. It was strange. Really strange. The whole thing was strange. So Ashley starts digging, because that's what she does. She's a scientist. She looks for the root cause of the infection. And the infection here isn't just Patty's mental illness. It's the external catalyst that weaponized her. Okay, wait, let me back up. When Ashley starts looking into Dr. Markham, because obviously he's the shady common denominator here who was holding Diane hostage, she finds something that completely shifts the paradigm. She stumbles upon old financial records, suspicious transactions, massive payouts. And all roads lead back to the Dark Lord himself, Victor Newman. I mean, I was sitting here at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling trying to figure out how Patty afforded all this. The yacht, the clothes, the whole setup. And it's Victor. Victor funded Markham. Victor funded Patty's plastic surgery or whatever stabilization treatments she needed to slip back into town. Probably doesn't matter, but I noticed in one of the recent background scenes, the file folders in Markham's office looked exactly like the proprietary ones Newman Enterprises uses. Coincidence, maybe? Or maybe not. I don't know. I overthink these set props constantly. But think about the psychological implications of this. Victor is literally using a highly vulnerable, severely mentally ill woman as a chess piece. He's funding her, manipulating her delusions, all to destroy Jack Abbott. I mean, not exactly, but kind of. He wants to ruin Jack's marriage to Diane, sure, but he's basically pointing a loaded and stable weapon at his oldest rival. It reminds me of when Victor brought in that Marco Anicelli doppelganger to take over Jack's life. I think it was episode 12 or 13, somewhere around there. Back in that crazy storyline years ago. He loves using lookalikes and unstable people. But then again, that doesn't explain why Victor went this far this time. Drugging Jack, orchestrating a sexual assault by proxy. That crosses a line even for Victor. What was I saying? Oh right, Ashley's discovery. When Ashley sees the paper trail proving Victor orchestrated Patty's return and financed this entire nightmare, her fury is going to be apocalyptic. She realizes Victor has been using a sick, vulnerable woman as a pawn in his endless, exhausting war against the Abbott family. Ashley has zero tolerance for Victor's abuse of Jack. When she realizes Victor exploited a sick woman to violate her brother, Ashley's confrontation with Victor is going to be the stuff of soap opera legend. She won't just yell, she will methodically try to dismantle his life. Actually, let's look at Dr. Markham's role in this because it's a huge domino waiting to fall. Markham is a coward. He's a slimy, opportunistic coward who thought he could play God with Diane Jenkins and Patty Williams. But now that Kyle has exposed him, and Jack is awake to testify, Markham is cornered. The GCPD is breathing down his neck. So what does a coward do? He deflects. I completely predict that Markham is going to throw Patty entirely under the bus. He's going to blame her for everything: the kidnapping, the syringe, the whole hostage situation. He'll say she went rogue, that she manipulated him, which is laughable, but he'll try it. Anyway, the point is, wait, what was the point? Oh, the point is Patty's reaction. Patty is unhinged, absolutely, but she has a weird survival instinct when she's backed into a corner. Okay, I know I just said the opposite, but hear me out. Patty isn't going to just sit there and take the fall for a massive conspiracy while the men who pulled her strings get off scot-free. She's looking at life in a maximum security prison or being locked away in a padded cell forever. If Markham throws her under the bus, Patty is going to retaliate by throwing the biggest, heaviest bus she can find right back at them. And that bus is driven by Victor Newman. Patty is going to spill everything to the police, the whole sordid, disgusting truth. She's going to tell Detective Burrow and Paul, oh God, poor Paul, having to hear this about his sister that Victor Newman hired her, that Victor brought her back to Genoa City. That Victor paid her to systematically dismantle Jack and Diane's marriage. And here is where it gets incredibly dark and where I start second-guessing how the writers are going to handle this. Patty is going to confess the details of the yacht incident. She revealed that Victor paid for that yacht, that Victor orchestrated the kidnapping. And most sickeningly, that Victor was the one who supplied the drugs and spiked the wine that rendered Jack unconscious and incapacitated. Wait, did Victor physically drug the wine himself, or did he just give the drugs to Patty to do it? The notes say Victor drugged the wine, but maybe he just facilitated it. Either way, he is legally and morally culpable for drugging Jack Abbott, which directly led to Patty forcing herself on him. That is a cascade of horrific felonies. Kidnapping, conspiracy, drugging, sexual assault. It's a whole litany of crimes. It's weird, like really weird. The whole thing is just weird because Victor usually keeps his hands somewhat clean, insulated by layers of deniability. But if Ashley has the financial documents linking Victor to Markham and Patty gives a full, detailed confession corroborating those documents, Victor is actually trapped, for once. Or maybe not. I don't know. He always seems to have a judge in his pocket or some blackmail material to wiggle out of it. But with Ashley leading the charge, Ashley is going to make sure this sticks. But then again, that doesn't explain why Diane is acting the way she is. Okay, wait, let me back up to Diane. Diane has been holding this massive grudge against Jack, refusing to forgive him because she walked in and saw him in bed with Patty. But Diane doesn't have the full context yet. She thinks Jack just had a moment of weakness or succumbed to Patty's crazy allure. But he was drugged. He was a victim. If Patty's confession comes out, and it becomes public record that Victor Newman paid to have Jack drugged and compromised, Diane is going to have to face a massive reality check. She has been punishing Jack for being a victim of a targeted, billionaire-funded assault. How is she going to process the guilt? Will she even feel guilty? Diane is so self-centered sometimes. I kind of worrying she still find a way to make it about her. What was I saying? Oh, right, the fallout. The domino effect of Patty's confession is going to shatter the entire canvas. Think about Nikki. Nikki is currently recovering from her tumor surgery, right? Victor is desperately trying to force her back to the ranch, isolating her from the outside world. And now we know exactly why. He's terrified. He knows that if Nikki finds out he funded Patty Williams, the woman who just stabbed her dear friend Jack and nearly killed Diane, Nikki will leave him forever. Nikki has drawn a line in the sand regarding Jack. Victor's jealousy over Jack and Nikki's bond is what started this whole psychotic revenge plot. Victor is acting out of pure, unadulterated insecurity. It's pathetic, honestly. A billionaire acting like a jealous teenager, but with lethal consequences. I mean, the layers to this are just insane. Ashley holding the smoking gun, the financial records. Markham squealing to save his own medical license. Patty going scorched earth because she feels betrayed by the men who used her. Victor trying to plug the holes in a sinking ship while keeping his wife in the dark. It's a masterclass in soapy, intertwined plotting. But I keep going down these rabbit holes late at night. Like, how exactly did Ashley get access to Markham's files? Did she hack them? Did she bribe someone? The Abbott family has resources, sure. But Markham's clinic seemed like a fortress when Kyle was trying to break in. I guess Ashley is just that good. She's a force of nature. I just hope the writers don't drop the ball on this and let Victor off with a slap on the wrist. He needs to face real consequences for weaponizing mental illness and orchestrating an assault. Let's expand on the exact nature of the evidence Ashley finds. I bet it's not just a simple bank transfer. Victor Newman doesn't just write a check for kidnapping Jack in the memo line. It has to be offshore accounts, shell companies. Maybe Ashley tracked a payment from a Newman subsidiary to a holding company that owns the yacht. Yeah, that makes sense. And the funding for Patty's plastic surgery. That's another huge piece of the puzzle. Patty has a history of changing her face, remember when she looked like Emily Peterson? Victor probably funded her latest stabilization treatments or whatever cosmetic tweaks she needed to slip back into Genoa City unnoticed. The sheer amount of money Victor poured into this vendetta is staggering. It shows how deeply obsessed he is with destroying Jack. Okay, I know I just said the opposite, but hear me out. What if Victor wants to be caught? No, that's stupid. Victor hates losing control. But maybe a part of him is so arrogant that he left a trail on purpose, just to prove he could outsmart them even if they found it. Or maybe not. I don't know. My brain is jumping between ideas and I'm not organizing them perfectly. The sheer audacity of Victor paying Patty to ruin Jack and Diane's marriage. He knew Diane's weak spot was her insecurity about Jack's past. He knew Jack's weak spot was his lingering guilt, or whatever, over Patty's mental state. Victor played them all like a fiddle. And Patty, oh Patty, she's sitting in an interrogation room right now, probably wearing that stolen nurse's outfit, realizing that her happily ever after with Jack is never going to happen. The delusion is finally breaking. When Markham points the finger at her, that fragile reality she built is going to shatter into a million pieces. She's going to realize she was just a tool, a pawn. And hell hath no fury like a pawn who realizes she's been played by the king. Patty's confession is going to be explosive. She details every meeting with Victor, every wire transfer, every drop of the drug she put in Jack's wine on that yacht. It's going to be the trial of the century if it gets that far. Anyway, the point is, wait, what was the point? The point is, Ashley is the catalyst for all of this. Ashley is the one pulling the thread that unravels Victor's entire ugly sweater. And I am absolutely here for it, even if I'm second-guessing how it'll all play out on screen. And honestly, where does the rest of the Newman family fit into this? Victoria has been defending Victor blindly, acting like his ruthless business tactics are just par for the course. But this, funding a sexual assault and a kidnapping. If Victoria defends this, she is completely morally bankrupt. And Nick is dealing with his own massive trauma with Matt Clark and his fentanyl addiction right now. But if he hears that his father did this to Jack, it might just push Nick over the edge. It might be the catalyst that makes Nick realize his father is just as much of a monster as the people they fight against. It's weird, like really weird. The whole family dynamic is built on these toxic secrets and lies, and Victor is the rotting foundation of it all. I mean, not exactly, but kind of. He holds them together, but he also poisons them. I can't even process how massive this fallout is going to be. My brain is literally spinning in circles trying to map out every single consequence of Ashley's discovery. The Abbott-Newman war is about to go nuclear, and there will be no survivors. Okay, I really need to go to sleep, but I know I'm just going to lie in bed thinking about Patty's confession. The drama is just too good right now.